Welcome to another episode of Lighten the Load Christmas edition. It is 12:45 a.m., so it is officially Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
I was going to tell you, but she told you Merry Christmas.
Oh, sorry. Merry Christmas!
We just
to all.
Yeah, to all a good night. Morning, whatever it could be. We decided to come on. Mika really wanted to make a Christmas episode, so we're here doing a Christmas episode. I think we're just going to chat about like what Christmas actually is.
Yeah, let's start with something light. Okay.
Christmas is not light.
Do you have... I'm not even going to go into that. I'm just going to say, like, what is your favorite, or what would you like to be your Christmas tradition?
Honestly, first thing that comes to my mind is I would love to have a home that I get to invite people to come. I think like hosting things is super fun. Have a bunch of people play a bunch of games, but specifically people that like don't really do anything on Christmas. And maybe like that's isolated, like anyone's welcome. But like specifically people that they don't have a Christmas tradition, Christmas tradition, and they can then like enjoy a Christmas like that. I don't know, that'd be like a dream.
That's good. That's technically what we did with holidays. I don't know if we fully did it with Christmas, did we?
Not as much as people weren't there.
Yeah, we did it a lot with Thanksgiving, and I don't know I think Easter as well. We've done that.
Mm-hmm. I know we'll do it like once House on a Hill is like a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the flesh, a building.
Yeah, she went deep with that because for me, I was just gonna say like little family Christmas things, like I don't know, read the scriptures about the birth of Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
Till we get to Christmas, because to me it's very important to talk about what Christmas actually is more than anything. I do enjoy gifts and stuff, but to me the most important part is that it's about Jesus and yet you celebrate him.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. I understand the stuff about the date not being it. I get that, but I'm celebrating the birth of Jesus and why he came.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely emphasis on that. And yeah, I'd love for people to come over, have a place to be for games,
Mm-hmm.
having fun, singing, worshiping, or, whatever, just enjoying
Eating
time together.
Mm-hmm. I would say, let me ask this question. This is like a lighthearted question too, and I'll answer it not so deep. What's your favorite tradition that you've had like in your life that you've done like multiple times?
Your family's cookie thing that we do.
Yeah. That's really cute.
Cookie decorating.
Shout out to my grandma, to Aunt Deb, to those that continue that tradition. That's definitely
I didn't grow up with a bunch of Christmas traditions or any at all other than celebrating on the 24th because I'm Brazilian,
Mm-hmm.
and opening gifts at like midnight. Now it's been more in like the morning or something, but I really, really didn't have any tradition. So a tradition that, we've had since House Upon a Hill and all that has been to host people, to make different foods, and yeah, to do the cookie decoration has been one.
That was fun this year. My favorite is stockings.
I like that too.
My mom always would my parents would like stack the stockings up. And to be honest, one of my favorite things, I still have it like packed away, is my stocking with my name on it. So like when I have my own home and like my own family and stuff like that, I want to have individual.
Why are you whispering?
Oh, I didn't realize that I was.
You're very much whispering.
I'm whispering. Didn't mean to. No, that's like one of my favorite things. Although nowadays, stuffing a stocking is like a lot.
Yeah, plus the gifts. There's no cheap things to put in. Even Dollar Tree is not $1 anymore. No, but actually that's a good one. What we would do is my brother would always come and visit for the holidays. So what me, Melina, and my brother would do is we would go to Target the next day, and we would, I think the limit was like $20 or something like that, and we would have to.
It went a long way back then.
Yes, it went a long way, and we always went over. But we would say like, all right, you got $20 to spend, so you spend $20 on each person. Just pick out a bunch of random things, and then we'll wrap it up and put it in the stockings. And so we would do that every single year. And I mean, back then you can get a bunch of stuff. You can get a CD, a DVD, a chocolate, a partridge in a pear tree, all that. Maybe $25, maybe $30. Nowadays, you could maybe stuff $20 bills, and that still might cost more than $20.
Aye.
So that was one of my favorites too. And it allowed you to get something like, I don't know, you had to really like think about the person. Even if it was like just chocolate that they liked, you still had to be like, hey, I'm thinking about you. I know you like this. I was going to name my chocolate. I was going to name Reese's, but I don't even know who likes Reese's. But it's like, I remember that you like Reese's. And then you're like, I do like Reese's. No offense to Reese's. You're fine.
I used to like those a lot.
So let's go into a deeper question. What does Christmas mean to you?
I was already thinking about this, and I'm going to cry, so I'm going to try not to cry.
Try to not cry louder.
Here's the thing. I was thinking about, like, what Christmas actually means. And the aspect that, like, Christmas is the representation. People will say, like, oh, it's of Jesus' birth. Yes. But do you understand the weight of that sentence? Like, today is a representation. It's not really the day, but it's a representation of the day that Jesus decided that he would come in the flesh so that he could sacrifice his life for us. Like, I don't think that we compute that. I think that we just like go about like, oh, these are like the traditions going on. You know, culturally people make it like, you know, a business opportunity. It's a great thing for retail businesses. Like, people really go that deep. And I just, even thinking about that, like, there's no gift you could give that equals that.
Mm-hmm.
So the best gift we could give on a holiday like this, and like, I think it's beautiful that, like, even though people might not believe in Jesus or like understand it's Christmas, it's Christmas, like it's a celebration of Christ, whether you want it to be or not. That acknowledgement, like, we're only here because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Christmas to me is exactly that. And the Word became flesh. It's not just a celebration of some baby. I mean, even the fact that it's celebrated so highly in other ways, right? They don't really make it about Jesus. They make it about gifts, about Santa Claus, and all these things. I would say the number one, I don't think I would say, I think that's a known thing. The highest grossing holiday throughout the year, I would say, is Christmas shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say Easter has come, not when I was growing up, but Easter has come a close second to that.
Mm.
And why is it that it's made into such, you know, and I'm not knocking at whatever you want to buy gifts. Again, I like gifts. But why is it such an emphasis on money, on everything but what it truly is? And that's because of the importance of what today signifies.
Mm.
Because, yes, Jesus, God, he decided, fully God, he decided to become fully man because we couldn't save ourselves. And yeah, that's worth celebrating. There's no gift that could top that. The best gift you can give somebody is Jesus, whether that be in your action, in your love, in a nice home-cooked meal, in a warm embrace, in a smile. The best thing you can give somebody is Jesus. And, you know, for God so loved the world that he sent his begotten son.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Didn't get serious really fast.
Actually, let me say that whole scripture. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That's John 3:16.
Oh.
For whosoever shall believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
John what?
John 3:16.
No, my brain was not thinking that. I don't know what scripture I was thinking.
You're probably thinking and he shall be called.
Yeah, that's it.
That is Isaiah.
It's the Christmas verse.
I already read it, but I'll say it again.
Oh, didn't you just say that you want?
I said it again. I said it already.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I zoned out because I was
okay.
trying to find the other
Pull up
scripture.
Isaiah. It's Isaiah
6:9. It's like 6:9, yeah. That's what I was thinking too. 9:6. We were both.
Whoa. It's all right. It's 12:50, okay?
For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace.
Amen.
It's just like it's that serious, I think, and I don't think that you realize even what you said in regard to the fact that Easter has become so popular, like in the regard of like grossing of amounts of like buying those things. I never thought about that in regard to why is it the case of those two holidays? And then I was thinking the aspect that, I mean, obviously we know why, but there's a portion too that it's like, it can be overshadowed, but it's not overshadowed because then everyone's celebrating it. But it's like, it's overshadowed because people look at everything, and I'm going to use overshadowed lightly, but like you look at everything in Christmas and it's like the bigger the better, the more extravagant the better. Same with Easter now. It's like, oh, we're having like this giant egg hunt and like these things going on, and it's like the simplicity of what the Lord did is as weighty as like every circumstance in life like could be. And I think that I know that like that whole portion of the extravagance is like the cover up of, well, let's not really take it seriously. Let's not really go there. I don't know, maybe I'm off, but I don't think so. I think that that's like why it's that way. I think that's why that like everything is so much bigger every year too. It's like keep distracting. Things get added on. Like, oh, this is a Christmas thing now. This is how many Christmas movies can you watch? I love Christmas movies. Don't get me wrong, especially a Hallmark one. But like, you realize that that's the whole purpose as to why they do all that on those holidays, because like they don't do that for every holiday. I don't know. Some of them they do, but.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty clear as to why those things get overshadowed or why everything else becomes so big during those holidays. I mean, it's kind of wild to me how many people you know celebrate Christmas who definitely are not believers, who want nothing to do with Jesus or anything, but because of the worldly aspect of it and what it's become, they celebrate it. And there could be a good side and a bad side, because at the end of the day, they're still celebrating the birth of Jesus. But to the flip side of that, how many Christians are celebrating the worldly aspect and not having any emphasis on Jesus? You know?
I think it's like a double-edged thing. It's like a two-way option, because even in that, when you were saying that, you think about like statistically, there's people that only go to church on Easter and Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they do that? It's because that's actually what the holiday is about. Whether that's like the premise overall or not. So that's the two opportunities for the church to actually minister to the world, because they'll come into the building.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a whole other thing on its own about the reason that's only those two things, but neither here nor there. We don't need to do that in this episode. But the aspect that it's really Romans 8:28 where all things are used, because in that, yes, it can go one way or the other, just like anything else. Nothing is 100% great besides like salvation and Jesus himself. But like that portion, there's a weighing system in both. Like there's both opportunities. And you're right, there is the half where it's like, is it just like a checklist thing? Because if Christmas or Easter is just a checklist thing for you, then maybe consider why you even do it. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but like, why do you even go to church on those days? I'm not discouraging you, but is it to check something off, or are you actually seeking something and that's why you go those holidays because it's brought up more and like more acceptable to other circles?
Mm-hmm.
What's the reason behind why you even desire to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I wasn't expecting to go this deep in this episode. I thought it would just be a little.
Are you kidding? Do you know what Christmas is about?
I know,
it's like the deepest thing possible.
No, you haven't even heard what I want to talk about.
Oh no.
Christmas happens to be also probably one of the most, at least this time of year in general, happens to be one of the most filled with suicide, filled with pain, filled with all of that, people driving themselves into debt because they feel like they have to, accomplish something because everyone else is doing it, and, they don't want, their family to feel left out, bills not getting paid, all that stuff that happens around this season. I mean, that to me also testifies to what we're actually celebrating. That the world, the enemy, all of that goes so hard to cause the opposite of it, to distract from that, or, put pressures that, we shouldn't really put there, Again, we both are fine with gifts. We like giving it and all that. But at the end of the day, if we couldn't get anything, we'd still be okay. We'd still be like, the celebration is so much more than that, And if we could get 1 million gifts, that's great. But I know that a lot of people don't feel that way. I know a lot of people, and they're not necessarily doing it because they want to show off or anything. It's just, that's what society puts around. And then it's like, okay, well, spending time with family, you're forced to do it. And some people don't even communicate with their families throughout the year. And then they're forced to do this thing or put up a front, or, not everyone's forced, but you know what I'm saying?
Like, some people are. There's like a pressure to it.
Yeah. And then,
well, and if I don't go, I'm going to be lonely.
Right. Or even that, like, okay, so all my friends are going to spend time with their families and they're so excited to spend Christmas and do all these things, but I don't have that. And then they have to sit alone and not focus on, okay, well, Jesus came for you and he would have come just for you if you were the only person there. Wow. But the emphasis doesn't get put on that. So yeah, I don't even know what I don't even know. I don't know if I had a question with it, but I just wanted to bring it up because that's valid too. Like, that people go through these things, and if you find yourself going through these things, listen. First and foremost, you're definitely not alone.
Yeah, for sure not.
In any of it, Second, I encourage you, if you don't know the Lord, just, what's the harm in just seeing if he's there? So just talk to him and say, hey, I don't know if you're real. If you are, though, like, what should I do during this holiday? Like, what should I do during this time? I feel so alone, or I feel like if I go, I'm gonna be in the presence of people who mistreat me, who don't love, whatever it is that you feel in your heart. Or if you want to vent to him, hey, why am I in this circumstance? Why even celebrate this? He's a living God and he's a relational God, so he'll answer you if you ask with all sincerity. And reach out also. Find people around you that genuinely love you and care about you, and be honest with them. Hey, this time of year is not good for me. This time of year, I always get into some, what they call the winter blues or whatever. And, if you can't hang out with me during the holidays, I understand. But, maybe you could pray for me. Maybe we could grab lunch or coffee one of the days around it, and do something else to kind of celebrate. Just talk to somebody about it, because you're not alone.
Right.
You're not alone. You're not crazy. Your feelings are valid to an extent. Like, they're valid in general, but I'm saying, like, I don't want to say that overall and then someone be like, yeah, I hate my life and I don't want it anymore. No, I understand, I may understand why you might feel that way, but you're worthy and you matter. And there are people out there that care about you.
Mm-hmm.
That is a guarantee. There's not a single soul that doesn't have somebody who loves them, who's praying for them, who cares about them.
Right.
And you're definitely one of them. And most importantly, Jesus loves you. He cares about you. He collects your tears. He knows what you're going through. So that at least is worthy of being here, of going on with life. Again, I did not expect to go so deep, but I think it's important when we want to talk about these topics.
I think it can be one of those like tough topics. I know for me, I had that for a long time. And it wasn't that I would say out of my mouth that I hated Christmas. Really deep down, I probably didn't really hate Christmas. I think I became numb to Christmas. And I don't need to go into like a lot of details about it because you just kind of did in regard to people's circumstance. But like the portions where if this is a tough season, have people around you. If this is a tough season, choose to make new traditions. If this is a tough season and you hold a boundary the whole rest of the year, hold the boundary the rest of the year unless the Lord tells you otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
You have no obligation to other people. Relationships go two ways. I think that really, that advice of like a relationship goes both ways really helped me with these times. A family member of mine told me that, and that portion, it's like, you don't realize how important that is. Like, you are not obligated to go and put yourself in what would cause like something that's not healed in your heart to be triggered or for your being to be bothered.
Yeah, that's very important. I think we should pause for a sec.
All right. We had to take a little pause. Where we had someone come in and we just want to make sure the noise was good to go. But we didn't want to leave it at like a serious note and not kind of continue addressing that. Because I think it's probably one of the hardest parts about Christmas for a lot of people. And we promise we'll make it a little more lighthearted as we continue and finish up. But the portion of what I was saying, and you would have just seen this, is the aspect that I think with this holiday, a lot of things that happen is people think that they're obligated to do something. Something that doesn't happen the whole rest of the year, or it only happens during the holiday. And that portion, I just want to say like directly to the camera, like that's not your portion. You are not required to put yourself in situations that first and foremost have something that has to do with your heart that would like cause any issue, even if it's just like you're going to sit there and it's going to be awkward. Like there are certain portions that it's just not your portion. And there's certain times that those things are your portion. So I would say that holidays, which is kind of funny, holidays make it so evident why you need the Lord. And not that every day doesn't, but we're talking about the celebration of that. And then you think about the fact of like, if I didn't have the capability of going like, Lord, am I supposed to do this? I would have never, ever not gone and been in situations where that night I was in tears for hours. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and you might not have the same like thing, and mine isn't even close to as bad as most people. Mine was just like, I really don't, to be honest, prefer confrontation with people. Like, I don't prefer when people are screaming at each other, making a bunch of drama about nothing, and you can't just sit there and be chill. Like, that's just not my personality. I prefer just like to have a peaceful evening and like just hang out and like play games or something like that. And that's not how my holidays were most of the time due to like certain family members. But it's like that portion, I think what happens, and I touched on this on the Thanksgiving episode, but I know for me personally, what had happened was then holidays as a whole was like, I literally would say out of my mouth that I hated them because all that traumatic stuff and all that bickering, all that argumentative thing, all honestly, at the end of the day, all the spiritual warfare that goes on in the holidays because of pressure, like you said, because of the things, I'm not living up to this, or I had a lack. Like, if I really look back at it, some of the people that I had affect by in those things, it's because they didn't have the memories that way either. So in turn, they're going through that, but no one's talking to them about that. And then in turn, then it turns into like, you're numb for the holiday, but then you're also just like traumatized in a sense, hurt in a sense, and it like it's on a whole different scale. Some people, and then it goes to what you said, where it's like the level of suicide rates, the level of those things, is because people get so pressured, so I don't know what to do, and I would rather just be opted out of this. Like, I can understand where people get that from. Not that you want that to be the case, but I can cognitively get to how someone would get to there if they have certain situation X, Y, and Z. And then they're like, well, I don't know what to do with this. And they get so overwhelmed that then it goes like south.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I know that's very serious, but I just think that that's important to say for these things. Like, you are not alone if you're dealing with that. You're not alone if you feel that. It doesn't make it the truth, though.
Yeah. I also think it's important to realize it's a tactic of the enemy. So why does the enemy want to make you feel that way? What is the enemy trying to keep you from receiving at this time of year? I just think it brings more significance to what the actual celebration is. And if we focus on that, if people in general focused on that, then it wouldn't be such an issue. For one, I love visiting different people during the holidays, like stopping at different houses and just showing up and saying hello and, making an appearance. I think I did that one year, and it was my favorite thing ever. And I grew up two-parent situation. What I mean by that is
she had a mom and a dad.
I know. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. No, what I meant by that is that they were divorced. So, different celebrations, but in different countries, different states that we lived in at a time. So for the most part, when I was younger, I would celebrate a lot with my dad's family. My mom would come over and hang out too. They were my stepmom and my dad, like, we have a wonderful relationship. So they would always have my mom come and make me feel like nice, like, it was really good in that sense. And then throughout the years, like, my dad didn't live here anymore. It was just my mom. And so my mom worked, and I ended up going and celebrating a lot with friends, and friends became my family. So their traditions, other than that, like, other than celebrating and having parties and stuff, we didn't have too many traditions. But then a lot of my friends, they had traditions, and I got to participate in that, and I really loved it. And there's actually, a family that I talk about here and there, which is mom and pops. Like, they really brought in traditions for me, because they really welcomed me in as one of their kids, and like decorating the Christmas tree and Christmas movies and like all those things and stuff that I didn't really grow up with. I really got to enjoy with them. But in that, like, I don't feel an obligation one way or another to celebrate a certain way. I just genuinely prefer to just randomly stop at people's homes. But even if I didn't, like, I also I really want at least one of the days to have an emphasis on Jesus and spend some time with him, because it's about him at the end of the day. And if it was the only thing that I got to do, I would choose that, to just have a chill day at home, eat at home, just relax, and just, read the Word of God, talk to the Lord. So you just don't have to be, the holidays are what you feel it should be, I should say. Like, if you're more comfortable with friends, if you're more comfortable with family, if you're more comfortable doing something on your own, if you're more comfortable. I also don't think, like, it's such a big deal to be so caught up on the date. Some people are like, oh, 24th is here, 25th is there. I don't care if we celebrate the 12th. The 12th, it's here. For me, I actually would prefer that, because then no one has to fight over where they're going to go, if they're going to come to my house or not. Let's just make it a completely different day and just come hang out and have some fun. The point is to show Jesus, celebrate him. Everything else is a bonus, or, I don't even know if it's a bonus sometimes. So
it's true.
We wanted to touch on the seriousness of that, because there is an importance to that. There's a lot of people that deal with that. And we think it's important to talk about those serious things on Lighten the Load, so that people who are watching this who cannot relate to the good memories, to the fun things, to know that you're seen, and not to feel guilty. Sometimes I feel like as Christians we just think like, oh, no one needs to be no one should be depressed, no one should be unhappy, no one should be this. Yeah, of course, God's desire isn't that. But circumstances don't always allow that in some sense until you get healing, until those areas are addressed, whatever the circumstance may be. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to piggyback off of what you're saying, because I think that that's the whole point of what we want to do with these conversations that we have, is like, these are not conversations people sometimes feel comfortable having with others. Mm-hmm. And not to sound repetitive, but it's like you need to be able to have those conversations with at least 2 or 3 people. Because if you can have that conversation with one, even if you're just having with the Lord, okay, but you need a brother and sister to talk to, because the Lord is tangible. The Lord is real. Sometimes you just need like this. Mm-hmm. And that portion, like, if you don't have that to just be like, this is what's going on, is how your brain can get spiraled, and how the enemy can use that, and how even yourself can use that against yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you have to, I think we always are going to be on, we literally are always going to be on a growing scale in some way every single moment of our life. And, if we're really trying to continue to walk forward in life. So whether that's you're dealing with the traumas in that, whether that's you're growing in relating to the fact that I don't have any bad memories from Christmas, but I can see how someone does. Mm-hmm. I can then have empathy for someone in a situation that's not the same as mine, understanding that not everyone's situation is the same as mine. It gives you a value system of like, even children, do they, like, that's a whole parenting kind of episode, and neither of us are parents, but like, it's like a portion of, do you give them a million gifts? Do you give them that thing that's going around on TikTok where it's like 4 different types of gifts? It's like a thing that you need, a thing that you wear, stuff like that. I think that's kind of cool, because it's like, those are the things where, is it a holiday about this? What is it's really, at the end of the day, what's your heart's intent in something? And then what's your focus in it? Because even in that, someone that gives a lot, sometimes those kind of parents, it's like, because they didn't have that, they want to give that. I get that. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, but where's the line where you teach your kids, okay, in that, do you have them give to someone that's in need? Like, like, there's so many portions to life, and there's so many stories in the earth. And then you think about that too. I think it's interesting to see like some of the more like Christmassy traditions that like you picked up on, or those things, they're like the American like version. I like seeing like the Brazilian tradition. What do you guys do? What do you eat? What do you talk about? How do you do things? Do you adapt to something else in culture? Like you said, yours is more New Year's Eve. I grew up more that it was New Year's Eve, not New Year's Day as well.
You mean Christmas Eve?
Yes. I'm so sorry. Yes. Wrong holiday.
And we're back to New Year's Eve episode.
No, but Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. But it's like, some people, it's not that. Some people that celebrate Hanukkah, that's a whole other thing. Mm-hmm. So it's like, those portions, are you taking the time to realize like there's so much going on around you? Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really know Brazilian traditions. I don't really know what a Brazilian tradition is. I don't even know what our tradition is to eat, if I'm going to be honest.
Fish, some sort of fish.
Yeah, I guess.
I think.
I don't know. I mean, at my aunt's house, there's no fish.
Yeah, but your aunt's house seems like more Americanized.
I don't think so. I think they do eat like turkey and stuff. I don't know. I really, if you're a Brazilian, comment down below. But I didn't spend Christmas really in Brazil either. I mean, in my first 4 years of life, but I don't remember much about that at all. And then I spent like one Christmas in Brazil when I was, I don't know how old, in 1994 or something like that. And then I lived there for 3 years, but I don't even know if I really spent Christmas there. I think that was when I traveled to the United States. So I really don't remember what we did for Christmas, Brazilian tradition-wise. So that's why I really don't know. Other than I know that families get together, they eat, they're loud. Bless them. I think that's a whole for Brazilians. And that's it. And my family is Christian, so we knew it was about Jesus. I don't know if there was an emphasis in anything that we did other than church. We definitely went to church. At some point, we had some play or something that we were a part of, but that's why I think Americans have more of a tradition when it comes to that.
Mm.
So that's why I picked that up for my friends.
Mm-hmm. My family was really good at the aspect of putting the Lord in the middle of it. Like, we weren't allowed, well, not allowed is like a really strong way to say it, but like, we didn't start doing gifts or anything like that until we read the entire like story about Jesus and like his birth.
That's good.
I'm sure that my grandma instilled that. Maybe my Uncle Bob, to be honest, he always read it, so possible.
Mm.
But it was like, that was like a precedence. And then same with my parents did do that too. We had a little book that was like a shortened version of it, like a little photo book thing. And I remember loving that as a kid. And we kept the kid one because I think at one point they tried to shift it to like an adult version or like an older version. And I was like totally against that. I wanted to read the little book because like it had all the little things in it, like memories.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. That was the heavy note of things.
But that was good. I think that it's important to talk about. And I mean, honestly, we hit some important facts.
Mm.
We had some light things in the beginning.
Yeah. We just wanted to have a conversation about Christmas and share a couple things, and then it took a serious thing, but I think it's important. I think that's an important part to touch because it's easy to just talk about the fun stuff, all that jolly stuff, but not everyone feels that, and that's important to address too, and you're not alone in it. And if you're a believer, get some prayer, ask for deliverance, whatever it is. Get some healing for that because you might have trauma in regards to that. You're not alone in it. I know a lot of people who have had it and have to, and it's good to address. The Lord's going to want to address that. Even if you never decide to celebrate Christmas, you don't have to do that either, you know? That's not a forced thing either. That's not something that's obligated either.
Yeah.
The holidays that the Lord celebrated were the Jewish holidays because he was Jewish, and obviously he wouldn't have celebrated his birth. I mean, he could have, but he didn't. So it's not obligated for you to do that either, but it's between you and the Lord, whatever he tells you to do. But I was going to I have a question. What is your favorite? You can give a couple because you know that when someone asks me for one, I give 10. What is your favorite Christmas song?
That's funny because mine is about the movie. My favorite Christmas song. I have a couple, like my serious ones are like I like O Come O Come Emmanuel. And then there's one. You're gonna be like, what? There's a movie called Beaches, and they sing this in the Christmas scene. And every time I hear that, I just love that song. It's about Christ as well. I just can't think of what it is. I'm gonna have to look it up. But my favorite one to dance to and like makes me laugh is Last Christmas, because Meek and I have a whole dance routine to that, by the way.
Will you ever see it?
What's
I don't
yours?
know. Okay, we're gonna go with chill first. She went with serious first. But my chill ones are It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Now listen, don't judge me. It's just such a joyful song. I just swing and sway.
What other one
And it makes me very happy. This one is controversial.
Oh.
Now I'm gonna have to get my spiel. Man with the Bag.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good song.
By K-Star. And the reason I love it so much, I'm not gonna go into this, but not a Santa fan. But the reason I love it so much is because I used to work for Macy's, and one of the years they used that song as their Christmas commercial, and because Macy's is known for their red bags, just like Tiffany's is known for that blue colored bag. And they did one with that song, Man with a Bag, and I thought it was brilliant. Love marketing. And that's why that song is one of my favorites. Nothing really to do with the song itself. Now, in regards to... That one is a good one. I don't want to... Joy to the World is like a... I love Sister Act 2, Joy to the World. Yeah, the O Come Emmanuel is good.
I need to look up the one that I'm thinking. I'll find it. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
I'm not even done with this
Mika,
yet.
you answered your question already.
Listen, one of the years, actually we did it twice in a row, we did a play at my church called A Strange Way to Save the World. And a lot of the songs we sung on that is the ones that come to mind during Christmas. And look that up if you haven't heard of it. A Strange Way. I think Fred Hammond sings that song. I don't know about the play as a whole because I was little. But a lot of the songs from that is what gets in my head during Christmas. But they're not popular songs. Christmas movies?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like the Hallmark ones. Yeah, I'm going to say the Hallmark ones. And it doesn't have to be one specific. But just those chill movie ones where the person... had the big city job, coming back to the small city where everyone knows each other and runs into whoever. That, I like those, and I don't know why.
I'm not going to find mine, so I'll find it another time, but yeah, those are great. Mine, top 2, because I was thinking about it ahead of time.
Cheating and cheating.
I mean, no, you were just stuck on that other thing for a while. Wow. Is... the movie we watched right at the beginning of this time, and it's technically not a Christmas movie, but like it's based in Christmas, is Something from Tiffany's.
Oh, that's a really
That's
good
on
one.
Amazon Prime. If you've never seen it, which most people probably haven't, it is like literally probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's really cute.
It's really cute. The other movie that's technically based in Christmas that I watched somehow for the first time this year is The Holiday. I love that movie as well. Yeah.
I like the traditional ones too.
Me too,
Home
me
Alone,
too.
all that stuff.
Yeah. Same, but like movies that I would watch, like they're in probably my top movies of like all time. I like both of those movies a lot. And they're Christmas themed.
Good.
Oh, that movie we watched with Lindsay Lohan this year was pretty good too. That's on Netflix. Netflix is like killing it with the Christmas movies a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they like mix like Netflix is like one layer of like Hallmark. Like it like kind of like puts like a rom-com with Hallmark together. So like how could it go bad?
Isn't Hallmark a rom-com in general? Does that already cover that?
Hallmark is its own genre.
Let's sing a Christmas song.
Okay.
Pick one.
Go ahead. You have to because the only one that's in my head is O Come Emmanuel.
That's not a good one for me. Hold on, let's look up a song.
It's a holly jolly Christmas.
It's a holly. How about Have a Holly Jolly Christmas?
Oh, yeah. See, I told you not to have me do it.
Say hello to friends you know.
Oh, you watch
Have
one?
a cup of cheer.
Wait. You make me feel like Christmas.
I want to thank the storm that brought you
I'm so
home.
sorry to anyone that made it this far in the video.
You should apologize to Blake Shelton.
Now.
Oh, man, no, let's give them a song. Come on. They don't know the pipes that are in here.
I'm so sorry. I know people have already like turned this off.
The weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful.
Do you know like how high def this is?
But as long as you love me so,
Let it snow.
let it snow.
Let it snow.
It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought along some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we find...
No,
Okay.
we're done. We're done. And thank you for joining us.
Oh, man, I was enjoying this.
For this
Mary,
episode.
did you know your baby
Thank you for joining us for this episode.
She did know, by the way. The angel told her.
I had a whole spiel about that today. We're not going into that, Mika. Thank you.
Did you know?
Say goodbye.
Bye, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. See you next time.